Hello everybody here in Asia. How's everybody doing? It's grand final time. We will be going out in approximately 10 minutes with E7 against ID or ID against E7, whichever way you want to look at it. I normally would do map flyovers, but this is a best of 9, so that would take ages to do the flyovers. So we're not going to do that. We're going to dispense with that today, and we're just going to basically get straight into the battles when they kick off. A couple of things you need to remember, guys. Firstly, there is a giveaway. So I've got 5 battle passes to give away in game 2. All you've got to do is predict the damage done by E7. Done by ID. Predict the damage done by ID in game number 2. I then have another 5 to give away in game number 4, and that is to predict the damage done by E7. Okay, now when you predict the damage, you need to put in your server and in-game name, because if you don't, then I can't get these things to you, to be perfectly honest with you. So that's very important, guys. You really must put your in-game name and server in the YouTube chat. What I will then do at the end of it, I'll collate it all together, and after the tournament is finished, we will have it up and running. Simple as that, and there'll be a list on my Discord, and there will also be a list on my YouTube. Okay. Yeah, exactly, Salim. So keep waiting, because I'll do an updated list. I'll do an updated list, and this is why I'm waiting until after the tournament, because I've got 3 servers that are being covered, and I've got lots of so that's at least 60 winners. So you have to bear with me, guys. It's a lot of information to collate, a lot of data to get out there. So just be careful, just be mindful of that. Oof. So what are we expecting to see today? Well, we're expecting to see the grand final. Who's going to win? That's the big question. So we've got 7 minutes to go. Now, let's have a look. It's ID against Uprising, or Uprising against ID. So ID against E7, E7 against ID. Matches, well, we've got Yukon, Faust, Vineyards, Halas, and New Bay. All really interesting maps. So it's gonna be a really interesting grand final. Can't say anything better than that. We will wait and see, however, what they're going to do. Now, Halas, Yukon has always been an interesting map, because it's a new map. It's a nice map. It lends for various different play styles. So it'd be cool. Faust, wow, Faust is a nice big map. Again, it lends for different play styles. Depends where you want to drop, and all these things are quite cool and good on Faust. Do you go down to the bottom? Do you go up? Do you take light tanks to get those spots? Do you take mediums? Do you take super heavies? Vineyards, well, that's always an interesting map, because that will be probably the meta there will be the hull down tanks with the gun depression, but you just never know. Halas, one of the smaller of the maps, doesn't lends for more aggressive type of game style, and of course we have New Bay, one of the newer maps. Again, it looks big, but it's actually quite small, what with all the buildings. So we've got a lot in store for us today. It's going to be absolutely brilliant. I'm telling you, it's going to be great. We're going to love every minute of this, I'm pretty sure. We're going to see some fantastic games being dished out by the clans. Don't forget, there's also Amunet streaming. She's streaming the Challengers Tour, where she will be going out with NQE7 and ECG. We streamed those yesterday. We had some great fun. We streamed the brackets yesterday. So by all means, go out, check that out. Challengers is always a good one, and the games on there are Naval Frontier, Halas, Castilla, Yukon, and Dynasty's Pearl. So by all means, give Amunet a bit of TLC. She's over there doing that. Ooh. Well, I must admit, it's coming to the end of this, what has been a more condensed tour, but the pro side has been a little bit different with the double elimination, not going to lie, but it has been interesting. I mean, it's been quite good fun. My mouth is out of sync again, which is annoying, but can't do much about it. Hello, Martin, how you doing? So guys, you need to start predicting now for game 2. And at the end of game 1, you'll need to start predicting for game 4, by the way. So I'm just going to put that in the chat. So there you go. You've got to be careful, guys. I mean, you've got to get these predictions in. You've got to predict game 2 right now. And once, when the moderators write stop, after I've said stop, any predictions after that, I will assume are for game 4. Okay? So be mindful of that, guys, because I'm not, you know, it's going to be very, very, very strict in that respect. So start guessing. Yeah, no, Stitch, it has. So, we've got the room invite, so we're going to go over to that, jump in. We've got 3 minutes to go. So guys, get those predictions in, because as soon as game 1 starts, predictions are over. It is that simple. So we're just waiting here for the teams to roll up. They've still got 2.5 minutes. I mean, at the moment, we've got ID on the south spawn, E7 on the north spawn. Well, ID have already rocked up and now have E7, so we're just waiting for all of them to ready up, pick their meta, and then we will start going. We've got, like I said, just under 2.5 minutes to go before the grand final here kicks off. As you can see, E7, well, they're pretty eager. We've already got Nat backwards in a Vickers, 7 Ruler in an IS4, Chromatrox in a Crown Wagon, Nitroglycerin in a Crown Wagon, X-Gamma in a Vickers, Nuggies and Fries was in an E5, still in an E5, tempted not to be in an E5, we don't know, he's not readied up. And one of my favourite names, Pink Puffins in an E5. A lot of mobility there, well, apart from Nuggies and Fries, who's now dropped into a VK90. But there is a lot of mobility there, and he's gone back into an E5. Yeah, but I'll get out now. There's a lot of mobility there for E7, ditching the super heavies in favour of those more mobile heavy tanks. I'm talking basically the E5s, the Crown Wagon, IS4. Well, it's not as mobile as it should be, but it's better than an E100 or a Mouse. Let's not lie. But they're all changing. And this is the thing that is... No, they're not. They're just toying with us. 2 Vickers. Well, that's going to be interesting to see. Don't normally see that. Not 2 Vickers. So, trying to get around this map. ID, well, they still haven't readied up as of yet. They will be shortly, no doubt. E7 just having a bit of fun, as you do. That's what happens. Just over half a minute to go now. ID have readied up. We have Campon in the IS-4, Active Duty in the IS-4, Gayem in an E5, Lanny in the IS-4, Radioactive in a Crown Wagon, Spartan Sword in a Mouse, and IDS in a Crown Wagon. So, much heavier lineup for ID, and I'm hoping that they are not toying with us now. And yeah, they're not. They are toying with us. They're not going to be changing. So I'm just hoping that that's now the final selection of the meta. Two completely different lineups here. One is very heavy, one is very mobile. It could go either way, let's be honest. And we are kicking off right now. So you need to now stop predicting, guys. It's over. Well, hit points, unsurprisingly, is in the favour of ID, and it is quite significant. 2,000 hit points, that is a whole tank. So they have got quite a significant comfort blanket there of ID. However, as I said, they do not have the mobility. Not really. And we can see already that ID are going for the A and the C cap. Let's quickly wing ourselves over to where E7 are doing. Well, with the Vickers, unsurprisingly, they're looking at towards the D cap area with a fast cap on B. I mean, B is always, it's a closer cap, so it is easier to cap on a fast cap than the C cap. 7 ruler is going to finish that and rotate out, and you can see there that ID are in fact now capping C. They will take that, and they will also take A. Cap advantage, however, will go to E7. X Gamma going right around the map, trying to get into the spawn of ID here, and then thinking that you know, the better fast of Valor is retreat. Moving back around, we've got ID pushing through onto the centre, trying to get some decent positions with Active Duty, Lanny and Campon. Campon very far forward there, trying to put some pressure on, making E7 really scratch their heads and think what they should be doing. Should they be rotating back to take on the Campon? He is supported by Lanny and Active Duty and Spartan Sword, who also put themselves in good positions if anything comes. Campon dropping into the B cap. Now that is going to cause a reaction, and it has. And he gets a bit of a smacking from Chromatrox, Nitroglycerin and 7 ruler. However, it's giving him an idea of where their tanks are. Active Duty now, well, he's coming around the corner. He gets a bit of a pummeling there from Pink Puffins. They've got to be careful of these Vickers. And you see X Gamma moving right round. But again, we're going to go back to the B cap because ID are stacking their tanks up on this side. They will have, therefore, a tank advantage. But X Gamma in the Vickers. Radioactive is really having a hard time here with the 2 Vickers of Nat backwards, and now X Gamma should be able to put shots into the rear. No, X Gamma is retreating out of there again, but Pink Puffins is coming down to put a bit of pressure on. But back over at the B cap, we've got the push from ID. Lanny, however, is looking worse for wear. He's not going to last much longer, but 7 ruler may go down first, and 7 ruler does. That is now giving ID the advantage. However, Lanny will go down. He's not going to survive this battle, even though Spartan Sword will come in and help him out. And down he does go, this time to Nat backwards. However, Radioactive is down. Lanny is down. ID are hustling around here. Nitroglycerin is going to go down. Chromatrox will be next. And I must admit, I mean, you've got to see E7 are bleeding out here. There's now almost a 3k advantage, but there goes down Campon. But at the expense of Chromatrox, Nuggies and Fries has also gone down. It's 3 against 4. It's very, very bit brawly, individual brawls going on. Pink Puffins here, can he escape? That's a great shot in. And Active Duty is trying to chase him down. The 2 Vickers have got to be very careful. They're trying to rush out of dodge, get those caps. They've got the C cap, but the points are against them. Guns on the battlefield are against them. Hit points are against them. This is going to go to ID unless a miracle were to happen. Doesn't matter what Nat backwards and X Gamma do now. They are under the cosh, even though they're getting the caps. The cap points at the moment, and the advantage is firmly with ID. Nat backwards has got to retreat to safety. IDS and Spartan Sword will drop into the C cap. They will take the C cap. Active Duty, however, is in danger. He is in danger. He's got to be very careful. Because he is a one-shot and X-Gamma is coming around there to probably take him out. Oh, who's going to get the shot in? Oh, they both get equal shots in, but down goes Active Duty. But look at the points. The points are tracking up here for ID. Spartan Sword is still incredibly healthy. Nat backwards has now been spotted. He has got to be careful. That's a miss by Spartan Sword. IDS is also healthy. ID have still got this. Spartan Sword knows that they've got it. It's pretty straightforward stuff. It's not going according to E7's plan. Really great brawling, but you have to give it to ID. They pushed when they needed to push. So ID taking their first victory here. 1-0 to them. Great damage dished out by ID. Not so much by E7 considering the amount on offer. There was almost 20,000. So they're pretty short of the target. We are now going to go into game 2. And no, notice the mods did not say anything. So we're going to swap those spawn points. This time we will have ID on the north spawn, E7 on the south spawn. We have Campon in an E5, Active Duty in a Kranwagen, Gayam in an E5, Lanny in a Kranwagen, Radioactive in the IS4, Spartan Sword in a mouse, and IDS in a mouse. Staying with the heavy meta here are ID. Moving over to E7, we have Nat backwards in a T22, 7 Ruler in a Kranwagen, Chromatrox in a Kran, Nitroglycerin in a mouse, X-Gamma in a T22, Nuggets and Fries in an E5, and Pink Puffins in an E5. So E7 still staying with a slightly more mobile lineup, despite the fact they have a mouse. Dropping the Vickers, however, for the T22s. Little bit more HP for them there. So that's basically the reason. So just under 20 seconds to go. Don't forget, it is best of 9, so it's the first of 5 victories. 5. Already we have ID off the mark. 1-0 against E7. E7, however, are they going to be able to pull this back? Are they going to prevent ID's charge? Well, ID again topping that damage count. Again, almost 2k. It's significant. It is another tank and it is significant. They are sacrificing mobility, however. And this time you'll see them fast cap the B cap. And they're heading out towards the D middle type area. Let's quickly move around and see what E7 are doing. So already we have them. T22 of X Gamma will drop into the C cap and the rest of them are heading around to the A cap. So pretty much the opposite direction, with the exception of Nat backwards in the T22, who is going out wide, but so is Radioactive and so is Campon. They're going out wider than you expect. Gayam is also there, trying to stay unspotted. But the thing is, Nat backwards in that T22 has got pretty good spotting ability. So you can see here, ID again not getting the cap advantage. Mainly because now they're going to have the A cap against them. They'll drop into the D cap, however. They will make sure they cap out. IDS in the mouse there is just basically going to hold through that middle. And what they've got to be careful of now is E7 pushing onto the B cap. But at the same time, E7 have got to be careful that ID may push round onto that C cap. So it's an interesting one. We've got IDS in the mouse there. He's going to try and draw them out by looks on it, which is what his job is in the mouse. Campon is just behind him, as you can see. IDS is not drawing anything out, so he's just going to move away. Getting a little bit of package loss here on the Asia server. Pink Puffins, wow, shots going in. Radioactive manages to get a good shot into Pink Puffins, but oh, Campon gets a bit of a smacking there. IDS is going for the C-cap, and there he goes in the mouse. That should prompt some reaction from Nat backwards and possibly nitroglycerin. It does, but they don't reset. IDS, he stayed in there long enough just to get the advantage, didn't need to cap it. Now we're over to the B-cap again, and this time E7 pushing down onto Radioactive. Radioactive may not last long. He is looking worse for wear, and down he goes. But now Pink Puffins is basically, he is also a very, very tentative, juicy target, and Spartan Sword is waiting to load up. He's going to ram him and then smack him, and there he goes. Chromatrox as well is looking awfully low. He's being mauled here by IDS. Nuggets and Fries comes in. Having these mouses, Active Duty, however. Oh, who's going to win this brawl? It's not Active Duty. X Gamma and Nat backwards, pummeling Active Duty, but Chromatrox will go down. ID are pulling it back. Down goes Chromatrox. And if you look at the hit points, it's pretty much even Stevens, considering that ID had a lot more HP to begin with. However, down goes Nuggies and Fries, but Campon will go down here to nitroglycerin. Gives him a little shunt, and then oh, was that? No, it wasn't. He tried to shunt him twice. X Gamma is a one shot. It's game 3 against 4. E7 running around trying to get those caps, using their mobility. But nitroglycerin now is being pushed by IDS. Spartan Sword is just helping to cover. However, the Crown Wagon and E5 of Gayem. Gayem will drop back into the B-cap. The Crown Wagon of Lanny is fully loaded. He will put shots into the back of Seven Ruler. There's number 1. Is he going to get a second one in? No. Seven Ruler gets into safety behind the building. T22 of Nat backwards really running around doing what he can. IDS is in trouble here. Nobody is helping him out. They're going to go down, but we're going to leave that because now they're trying to push down onto the caps. It's still 3 against 4. Now it's 3 against 3. Hit points, wow, just about favouring ID, but only just. Spartan Sword now is in trouble. This is interesting stuff. Spartan Sword has got it all to do. He may be a mouse, but he's got no support, and he has basically got 3 tanks on him. He may be able to take down Seven Ruler. That's a bounce from X Gamma. That's not a bounce from Seven Ruler. So Spartan Sword is in trouble here. So is Gayem. Gayem's just lost a load of HP. And E7 get it. Simple as that. They got it on other points. Wowzers. So, 1-1. So guys, get those predictions in. I'll leave it open a little longer. Oh. I'll leave it open a little bit longer for game 4. Don't forget, you are now picking for game 4 the damage for E7. So we now move on to Faust. This is game number 3. Looking at the teams, how they're ready up. Well, we have Camponen in the IS4 Active Duty, IS4 Game in a T22, Lanny in an E5 Radioactive in a Crown Wagon, Spartan Sword in the E5, and IDS in a Crown Wagon. So a little bit more mobility now for ID. Moving over to E7, we have Nat backwards in a T22, Seven Ruler in an E5, Chromatrox in a Crown Wagon, Nitroglycerin in a Crown Wagon, X Gamma in a T22, Nuggets and Fries in an E5, and Pink Puffins in an E5. So, hit points again favouring ID, still preferring that slightly heavier lineup. However, they do lose out on their mobility. They have this time at least got a T22 in the form of Gam. And again, you've got E7 favouring those mediums. So let's go to Pine to the back. And we can see there, Gam is heading towards the A cap. Active Duty and Campon here will drop down into the C cap. And the E5s will follow Gam with the Crown Wagon of IDS overlooking. E7, wow, nap backwards in the T22 heading up to the A cap. But quite an aggressive move already. 7 ruler pushing right through very aggressively. Trying to get up into a decent position while they cap the decap. Points will go to ID first. And there we go. I mean, shots already going in. Active Duty already feeling a sting. And now E7 are looking to push round. This is quite an aggressive move from E7 straight off the bat. And already E7 are pushing up. Trying to push down onto ID, trying to get round there. So ID here just taking defensive positions, putting the shots across. And as you can see, Active Duty really getting pummeled. C-cap is now being taken by 7 ruler, so ID will lose their cap advantage. Going over to the other side of the map, Gam and Nat backwards are jostling with each other here. And at the moment, it's just tit for tat, trading between the two of them. And I have to admit, it looks like Nat backwards is just ahead. Only just because Gam is now on to 900 hit points, where Nat backwards is on 1,100. So Spartan Sword is going out to help. X-Gamma is also coming up to help. But the majority of the battle is around this area. Radioactive looking worse for wear. And you can see the hit points are being drained here of ID at the expense. Radioactive is down. He's gone. ID have got to take tanks out. They are losing tanks rapidly. Pink Puffins needs to go down for ID to bring this back. And the hit points. Nat backwards is finally down, and so is Pink Puffins. But Gam is a one shot. And now Lanny in Active Duty trying to push around onto Nitroglycerin. Back round here, we've got IDS pushing down. Trying to put shots onto... Oh, Active Duty drops down and loses shed loads of HP. Don't think he intended that, but that's what happened. And you can see there, IDS Campon forcing their way around onto Chromatrox. Nuggets and Fries is down. Pink Puffins is down. Gam is also down. Nap backwards is down. Down goes Chromatrox. Now it's a bit brawly. Active Duty is a one-shot. They will be looking to put the shots in while they take the C-cap. But at the moment, Spartan Sword, well, Spartan Sword is trying and push down on X-Gamma. And you can see here, 7 Rulers coming in to help out. And 7 Rulers trying to put some pressure onto Spartan Sword. Lanny comes around to give some assistance. Good shots into X-Gamma there. Lanny, however, missing his target. And X-Gamma does not miss his. They are desperately trying to get rid of X-Gamma. Look at the points. The points are favouring. Down goes X-Gamma. The points are favouring now. E7, they need to get 7 Ruler out of the game. Leave Nitroglycerin. They need to focus fire. There he goes. Nitroglycerin is the last man standing. He is going to be looking for Active Duty there. Now, at the moment, ID do have the advantage, but only marginally. And Nitroglycerin is hightailing it out. But he's got a lot to do. He's got everything against him. Guns on the battlefield. HP. Oh, that's a good shot by Campon. That's a great shot in return by Nitroglycerin. Campon. Oh, that one doesn't connect. Well, it does, but it's a bounce. Now Spartan Sword comes around to give some well-needed pressure onto Nitroglycerin. And as you can see, oh... E7 are marginally getting the points here, but Nitroglycerin's not going to last. He's been tracked, and now he's been wrecked, and it goes to ID. 2-1 in favour of ID. Now don't forget, it's the first to 5. So pretty good stuff there from both clans. I mean, E7 marginally close, but ID managed to close them down. Changing those spawn points now. We have ID on the south spawn, E7 on the north spawn. So, Camp on in the IS4, active duty in the IS4, Gayem in the T22, Lanny in an E5, Radioactive in a Kranwagen, Spartan Sword in an E5, and IDS in a Kranwagen. Moving over to E7, so far we have Nat backwards in a Batchat, 7 Ruler in the IS4, Chromatrox in a Kranwagen, Nitroglycerin in a Kranwagen, X-Gamut in a Batchat, Nuggers in Fries in an E5, and Pink Puffins in the E7. So, no pressure on any of the teams at the moment, not really. When you think about it, I mean, it is best of 5, it is only 2-1. Georgie, go away, now! Yeah, sorry about that. My mic broke. Yeah. Yeah, the mic broke. Anyway, it's back. Basically, that the connection fell out at the end here, and I didn't notice the USB connection. There's a USB connection that goes in just at the top, and it fell out. So sorry about that. It's now sorted. It's now fixed. So sorry about that. You missed that. Anyway, we're on Vineyards. We have ID on the north spawn, E7 on the south spawn. We have Campon in a Vickers, Active Duty in the Icefall, Gehrman in E5, Lanny in the Icefall, Radioactive in a Crownwagon, Spartans in a Crownwagon, and IDS in the Ice4. Moving over to E7, we have Nat Backwards in a Batchat, 7 Ruler in the E5, Chromatrox in a Crownwagon, Nitroglycerin in a Crownwagon, Gamma in a Batchat, Nuggies in an E5, and Pink Puffins in a Cran. So yeah, sorry about that. Guys, I know I'm inaudible. Not much I can do about it. There is a delay. Anyway. Let's get up high into the back. Let's get up high into the back of the map. And as we can see here, ID, well, you know, ID really worse for wear after that brawling just. They are heading to the traditional areas, mainly the middle area overlooking the A-cap. Batchats of X-Gamma and Nat Backwards heading into these northern ruins, trying to get those early spots, and they do. But they are in Batchats. They worked really, really well in the last game. B-cap has been taken very quickly. The A-cap has not been taken. So ID putting themselves under a little bit of pressure cap-wise here. They've now dropped into the A-cap. Nuggies in Fries, while he's far forward in the traditional hold-down position, and IDS is also there. But Chromatrox will be trying to get the shots in. That's a miss by Chromatrox. And a little bit of lag there. Thank you, Wargaming Servers. So E7 at the moment do have the advantage. That's a good shot from Campon coming right across the map into Chromatrox. Now E7, ooh, sorry, 7 Ruler there, getting a tumble as he tries to get out of B. That was a good shot coming in. Spartan Sword here has put himself in a great position, and they've got Radioactive putting the side shots in, getting the cross shots right across. Nuggies in Fries, wow, he's backing out of that position now. He's been pummeled a bit too much. Moving round. Well, Idea trying to push forward. Campon very far forward there. C-cap has been taken. That's where the Batchats have gone. Gayam now. Well, what are they going to do? They've got to find tanks to they've got to push in a unified direction. Start getting their focus fire working. IDS here. Well, he's getting pummeled by X-Gamma in the Batchat. X-Gamma is now on his long reload. Can't do much about it. IDS is really in a world of pain. And E7 sense it. IDS is now a one-shot. Chromatrox should finish him off, and he does. ID really need to pull their socks up here. They need to start pushing. Okay, they bled E7, but they're not finishing any tanks off. Pink Puffins, well, he's now the focus of attention. Gayam and Campon are trying to get Pink Puffins out of the game, but they've now lost Radioactive as well. This is going E7's way. Pink Puffins will go, but it's too little, too late. The page cap will be taken, but now they're being bled. They've got to finish them off. That took too long to finish Pink Puffins. They're not focusing the low hit point tanks. Lanny is going to go down here. 7 Rulers should take him down. Campon comes rushing in. Nuggies in Fries. He's put himself in safety. Nitroglycerin is sort of cornered, but at the moment, Spartan Sword is also gone down. Lanny will definitely go down eventually. Down, however, goes Campon. Lanny goes down. This is going to E7. No way are ID bringing this back. E7 will take this to an advantage of 3-2. Active Duty, well, not much he can do about it. He's a one-shot. 7 Ruler is going to keep pushing him, and it's all over on the base points anyway. Ouch. Total ouch. Very discoordinated there by ID. Not going to lie, much better movement around the map, much better focus fire by E7, hence the reason why. They are successful. Moving into the next game here on Vineyards. Wow, we will have ID now on the south spawn, E7 on the north spawn. E7, well, they're already readied up. We have Nat Backwards in a Vickers, 7 Ruler in a Clan, Chromatrox in a TVP, Nitroglycerin in a Clan, X Gamma in an AMX50B, Nuggets and Fries in an E5, and Pink Puffins in a TVP. Again, going with their mobility, which is paying off. Moving over to ID, we have Campon in the E5, Active Duty in a Clanwagon, Gayam in a T22, Lanny in an E5, Radioactive in a Clanwagon, Spartan Sword in the IS4, and IDS in the AMX 50B. That's actually quite true, Binod. I did tell him off, and it did break the mic. That's very true. It is that simple. So just less than 15 seconds to go, or just over 10 seconds, whichever way you want to look at it. So are they going to be able to continue their charge here, E7? Again, hit points are favouring ID, but it hasn't really helped them in the last 2 games. Their lack of mobility is really hurting ID, I'm not going to lie. And it's being more favourable to E7. E7 has been using their mobility very nicely. Oh, get up high, there we go. So this time ID making a beeline for the A-cap with the AMX50B and Lanny heading towards the town, and the rest of them, well, they're sort of going into the middle type-ish area. Nat Backwards very far forward in the Vickers, trying to get that aggressive movement going, trying to get those early spots on the whole team. He gets Gayam and he resets the cap. That is very aggressive by E7. E7 can sense that there's, wow, Gayam getting absolutely wrecked. As the TVPs put a shed load into him. Gayam is down. This is a blow for ID. They are now massively on the back foot. They've lost a tank. They haven't got the base. Great movement by E7, using those TVPs really effectively. And what a fantastic move by Nat Backwards in the E7 there. So in the E7, in the Vickers. Unbelievable. Getting those spots so the TVPs can get their rounds right through. Losing the only mobility and the best spotting tank that ID have. ID really have a lot to do now. It's all against them here. Can they basically get down, bunker down, and turn it around? It ain't going to be easy. Pink Puffins and Chromatrox in the TVPs are reloaded. They will be able to get cross shots in. Radioactive is got to get to safety, and he does, but they're still getting cross shots all the way across the map. Campon losing a load of hit points. Lanny losing a load of hit points as well. They are trying to focus tanks, but it's just not working. Radioactive is going to go down. The MX-50B here of X Gamma will put that shot in. Down he goes, 2 down. Lanny is looking worse for it. Can he finish off Nitroglycerin? No, Nitroglycerin survives. Down goes Lanny, courtesy of Chromatrox and the TVP. The TVPs are smashing the heck out of ID. Down goes Campon. Nitroglycerin has finally gone down. Nuggets and Fries is a one-shot, but now they're going to be looking to finish off. Nuggets and Fries goes down. They're going to look to finish off Active Duty. 7 Ruler puts a shot in. Nat backwards, and down he goes. It's now 2 against too many, and E7 have got this convincingly. Poor old IDS in the 50p. He's got 2 TVPs to contend with. There's no way he can survive, and he doesn't, leaving Spartan Sword as the last man standing in the IS4. And that is a convincing win by E7, not gonna lie. They are absolutely pummeled ID there. And ID had no response to it. Wow. Look at that. I mean, those TVPs, Pink Puffins and Chromatrox, really putting in a lot of damage. Unbelievable. It goes to ID. They have now got the advantage. It is match point to E7. E7 are a whisker away from taking a victory here today in the grand finals. We are going out onto Halas. We have Nat backwards in an E5, 7 ruler in an E5, Chromatrox in a Kran, Nitroglycerin in an E5, X Gamma in a Vickers, Nuggies and Fries in a VK90, Pink Puffins in a Kran. They are going out on the North Spawn. ID very much under pressure now. Campon in the IS4, Active Duty in a Kranwagen, Gayam in a Vickers, Lanny in an E5, Radioactive in a Kran. They're still picking their meta. They are undecided. So, we have Tampon in the E5, Active Duty in a Kran, Gayam in a Vickers, Lanny in an E5, Radioactive the IS4, Spartans E5, IDS E5. Again, they are, with the exception of Gayam, there's not much mobility. Although that is the most mobile lineup I've seen IDS take so far, if I'm being honest. Wow. E7 one away, match point here in the Grand Finals on Asia Spring Professionals Tournament. ID, they've got to dig deep. We've seen comebacks before, but they've got to dig very, very deep. So let's get a pie. Let's get a pie into the back of the map. So ID, well, they're heading for the middle area. Simple as that. They may not be going for the cap of A, but they're, well, Radioactive might. But they're looking to dominate the middle area. Let's get round the map and see what E7 doing. Well, E7, oh, X-Gamma getting a bit of a smack there. That comes in from Gayem. So Pink Puffins, X-Gamma and Chromatrox. Chromatrox just overseeing. X-Gamma and Pink Puffins dropping into the B cap. Cap advantage gain will go to E7. Now we've got the E5s of Nitroglycerin and Nat backwards moving around the map. E7 are looking to basically try and get those spots. There they go. They've seen Active Duty. Lanny will be looking to try and drop into that C cap for ID. At the moment, E7, well, they've got the advantage. They've positioned their tanks quite nicely. ID are the ones who've got to do the movement. They've got to either get the C cap or push on them. And you can see here, they're pretty much, well, they're not really consolidating here. Campon is finally now moving. And it looks like they are going to, oh, Active Duty gets a pummeling as he tries to get to the C cap. That was always going to happen. He gets into the C cap, but it gets reset. And that's exactly what Nat backwards in Nitroglycerin and everybody was waiting for. You can see here, I mean, Radioactive is the only tank over there. Spartan Sword, Gayem, really out of the action at the moment. E7 have the distinct advantage. The C cap is now being taken, but will Campon be able to stay there? He has got 2 tanks in there, him in Active Duty. They're trying to reset it, and they do reset it. Active Duty needs to drop in there. He's not in the cap. Hence the reason why it's not going up. Now he's in the cap. Now he rotates out. Now he's in the cap. Now he rotates out. But they finally do get the cap. They are behind, but they will start getting the cap points now. But they've been bled in doing that. Nat backwards, 7 ruler now going to try and push over here. Nat backwards gets a bit of a smack, but 7 ruler is now coming into support along with Chromatrox. So they are looking to close down ID. Chromatrox is trying to force Campon. Gets a good shot into Campon. Spartan Sword and IDS have now come in to help out. Gayam is getting smacked around. Here comes X-Gamma, Nuggets and Fries and Nitroglycerin. This is good movement by E7. Down goes Campon. 7 ruler looking worse for wear, but it's bitty by ID. They have lost their coordination slightly, and they've certainly lost their focus fire. IDS is going to go down. Maybe. Well, Nat backwards is looking. There he goes. And, okay, they've lost Chromatrox, but they've got the advantage still. No, ID now have the advantage because they've taken the other base. A 7 ruler. They need to get rid of 7 ruler. Down he goes. 2 tanks down a piece. ID have got this advantage now, but now they've just lost Pink Puffins. No, not lost Pink Puffins. They lost Lanny. Spartan Sword is going to be next on the list. If they get Spartan Sword out, they should take the advantage here, E7. Got to get him down. Down he goes. But at the same time, over on the far side, Pink Puffins goes down. Meaning that now it's 2 against 3. They have the hit points, but they don't have the base points. They have got to start taking tanks out. Gayam just needs to take the base and stay in safety. Active Duty can afford to go down. Radioactive needs to stay safe. If he doesn't, then it could be brought back. But down he goes. Now Active Duty and Gayam. Gayam has done the right thing. He's taken the cap. They just need to stay alive. There is no reason for them to push onto anything. Radioactive is heading for that C cap. Gets a shot to nitroglycerin and it's all over. ID, bring one back. So, one back for ID. Can they continue this route, however? Well, we will find out. We are going out on the second time on Hellas here today. We will have ID on the north, E7 on the south. ID, E7 has still got that advantage. They've still got match point. But ID, well, they've just turned them over on Hellas. Can they do it again? So ID's running up first. We have Campon in the IS-4 Active Duty in the Clown Wagon Gayam in a Vickers, Lanny in an E5, Radioactive in the IS-4, Spartan Sword in an E5, IDS in the IS-4. Moving over to E7, we have Nat backwards in the E5, 7 ruler in a Clown Wagon, Chromatrox in a Clown Wagon, Nitroglycerin in a Clown Wagon, X-Gamma in a Clown Wagon, Nuggets and Fries in the E5, and Pink Puffins in an E5. ID are digging deep, and they need to dig deep. They really do. If they're going to bring this back and take it to a decider, E7 will be kicking themselves, mainly because they've been on match point for the last game and they just didn't manage to turn it around. So we're now less than 20 seconds to go. So can E7 clinch the victory, or can ID force it to a decider and at the same time put a lot of pressure onto E7? Well, time will tell. E7 this time, well, they've sacrificed their light tank and they've been doing a lot of light tank stuff. This time it's ID who've got the light. It's all pretty much, there we go. Let's get up high into the back. So, ID looking to take that middle area yet again. Let's quickly go over and see what E7 are doing. Well, E7, they are looking for the A-cap and they're going en masse. The E5s and the Crown Wagon. Nat backwards just sitting in support at the back. 2 Crown Wagons of Nitroglycerin and X-Gamma just supporting as well. Moving back over to ID, well, we've got ID making a beeline for the C-cap and then covering, basically, sorry, beeline for the C-cap and covering the B-cap. A-cap has been taken. Chromatrox 7 Ruler looking to push forward and down. Nat backwards getting a shot pushed into him from a side across the map. That was Gayem in the Vickers. You can see here that what ID have done, they're just stacking themselves up waiting for the B-cap to pop. And then they will just put shots in if they can. But they can't. Chromatrox is in a good position, quite nicely hauled down there. And you can see Radioactive does get a reset. C-cap will be taken, and it has been taken. E7 do have the advantage at this moment in time. So, there will be movement coming in from ID. Poor old Chromatrox is desperately trying to cap here, but he can't. Radioactive is giving him such a hard time. Is the Radioactive going to be able to reset him yet again? Yes, they do. And another reset. So it's reset after reset. And another reset. He just cannot get the base. And Chromatrox is still contemplating. Does he? Doesn't he? Does he? Doesn't he? Nat backwards can't really do much. They now know that basically there's a load of ID tanks over there. And they're all on the ridge. Basically trying to reset the base. Spartan Sword, Radioactive in Gayem. Poor old Chromatrox finally gets the base. But at the same time, IDS and Campon trying to push through the middle with Active Duty just behind and Alani just behind them. ID are on the back foot yet again. Campon moving round. Radioactive and Spartan Sword staying where they are. Campon moving around to look it towards Nat backwards. Radioactive moving in. Spartan Sword should be joining them. So we have Campon and Radioactive now pushing down towards the A-cap, trying to catch out Nat backwards. Nat backwards does get caught out a little bit, but Chromatrox manages to get one into Campon. Campon is now side on to Nat backwards. He will now jump into the base, which he does. ID have actually lost quite a lot of hit points in doing so, though. IDS coming around the back of Chromatrox, putting the shots into the rear, and he does. Pink Puffins also puts one into IDS. This is a very interesting final game, maybe, or potentially not. Nat backwards has been bled massively. But so is Campon now. So E7 trying to push onto these tanks, trying to get that shot into Campon. Nuggets and Fries is looking for the kill, but X-Gamma takes it. E7 are tentatively close. Campon is down. Chromatrox is down. Nat backwards is down. Pink Puffins is down. ID take the advantage. They need to get the tanks out of the game, though. Moving over, we've got IDS, Nitroglycerin, toying with each other here. IDS is desperately trying to cap, but he's not going to be able to. Down goes Nuggets and Fries. 7 Ruler will go down. Or will he? Well, we don't know. 7 Rulers tentacle. Oh, he's a one shot. Oh, he doesn't finish off Active Duty. X-Gamma does, but it's 2 against too many. ID are going to take this. It will go to a decider. It's as simple as that. X-Gamma and Nitroglycerin, both in Crown Wagons, will not be able to hold this. It's just not possible. 950, 995, it's all over. ID, what a comeback. What a comeback this is becoming. ID taking it to the decider. E7 will be kicking themselves here. So, last game, winner takes it all. Here on New Bay, we have ID on the south spawn. E7 on the north spawn. We're waiting for them to ready up. ID ready up first. We have Campon in the IS-4, Active Duty in a Crown Game in an IS-4, Lanny in the IS-4, Radioactive in a Mouse, Spartan Sword in an IS-4, and IDS in a Mouse. Back to the very heavy meta for ID. But look at E7. Nap backwards, 7 Ruler, Chromatrox, X-Gamma, Nuggies and Fries, Pink Puffins, all in IS-4s. Nitroglycerin in a Mouse. Wow. Quite a lot. So I'm saying that ID had gone for the heavy game, but not as much as E7. Six IS-4s and 1 Mouse. Well, that's looking like it can be nothing else really but a park strat. Surely they cannot be thinking of anything else other than dominating the caps of B and C. Yeah, you're right, Mr. President. They did. They gave away all mobility E7 in that last game, and they've done it again now. All mobility. I mean, this is just going to be a heavy brawl, I'm anticipating, to be honest with you. It's all going to be focused around the park, unless they do something strange and weird, like go all to A, which is unlikely. Hit points, wow, next to nothing in it. Campon saying, let's do this. They know they can do it. Nuggies and Fries telling them good luck. So, well, they're not, ID are not going to the park. They are going to the ramps. That is intriguing. But it's probably the right move, because why would they go to the park knowing that the other side have got, well, basically just a shed load of heavies? And E7 here looking to catch. Oh, and the shots are coming across. This is good positioning by ID. Not even going for the C cap. They have gone to the A cap. How bizarrely is that? Now, yes, admittedly, C and B will be taken. But it sort of took the wind out of the sails of E7. Yes, they will get the cap point advantage. Of course they will. But now they've got to protect 2 bases. And it's not like they're going to be running around the map. So we need to work out now what ID are doing. Now you've got Mouse of IDS, Mouse of Radioactive. I mean, they can come in and basically try and pincer if they really wished. And you can see the way that they're trying to stack up here. Campon and Lanny are staying pretty much on the ramps. Gayam is also moving around to the ramp area. Nitroglycerin, well, he's not spotted, but the brace of IS-4s are just holding in the park. ID here may go both left and right. And that will confuse E7. They will be like, well, who do we go for? Do we go left or right? At the moment, Pink Puffins and Nitroglycerin are the exposed and isolated tanks. Obviously, ID don't know that. Now here they go. We've got Active Duty and IDS pushing out, pushing down, pushing through. Active Duty getting a smack. IDS also getting a smack, but at the same time over the other side, I'm going to leave that because Campon is trying to push on Pink Puffins. Nitroglycerin. Oh, and it is going to be a brawl in the park. It is. It is a punch up in the park, basically. Active Duty. Nuggies and Fries goes down first. And this is good stuff from ID. Now they're isolating X-Gamma. This is better focus fire from ID. But X-Game is going to go down. He has been absolutely battered. However, down he goes, but Gayam will be next on the list. Gayam down, Active Duty down. At the moment, E7 have the advantage. Oh, Lanny is getting pummeled. Down goes Gamiot, but so does Lanny. Campon is still tussling with Pink Puffins over there. Radioactive is taking the cap. IDS is now a one-shot. He is not going to be lasting. This is looking favourable for E7 at the moment. It's 3 against 5. E7, oh, poor old Radioactive getting pummeled here. Spartan Sword has got 2 on his tail. Can he take 7 ruler? But even if he does, he's going to lose a load of HP in doing so. And he doesn't. It's going to be all over. This is going to go to E7 unless some form of miracle. Pink Puffin survived. Spartan Sword is a one-shot. Down goes Radioactive. 1 tank left. It goes to E7. Wowzers. Wow. And as you can see there, ID putting themselves under a little bit of pressure, allowing E7 to count. They did a good push, but the focus fire of E7 was just outstanding, and they were able to bring it around massively. Massive congratulations to E7. They are the spring season Asia Pro Tour champions. Commiserations to ID. They were so close. They really gave a great comeback. Don't forget, they were 4-2 down. They brought it back to take it to the decider. You're not going to get much closer. The irony is it's been very heavy meta dependent here today on Asia. But that's it. Basically, it's all over, guys. So, as I say, congratulations to E7. Commiserations to ID. Let's have a quick look to see who triumphed in the Champions. Oh, where's the Champions Challengers Tour? Here we go. So we had NQE7 against ECG and NQE7. So NQE7 are the are the winners of the Challengers, and E7 are the winners of the Pro. Wow, fantastic! What a great way to end spring season here on Asia. Well, unfortunately, guys, I have got to dash, I'm afraid, because we will be going out to do a sort of show match on the RU server for their grand final shortly. So I've got to get ready for that. I've been blown away. We've seen a really entertaining games today. It went to the decider, went all the way to the wire. And with that, guys, I've been Fujit. That has been the spring season Pro Tour here on Asia. I've enjoyed every minute of it. I hope you did. We'll be back again for the next season, that summer. Until then, guys, really enjoy the rest of whatever time and day you are in. And remember, have fun on the battlefield. Until the next time. I'm back later with the EU Grand Final. I'm back on with the everybody else with RU. And then tomorrow morning, for me, I am back on with Amunet for the NA Grand Final. Until then, guys, cheerio.